Ms. Stroud, what is your job?
I am in the position of being the director of New Albany Main Street and Community Development Director, which encompasses everything else outside of Main Street. So marketing, tourism, those jobs.
All right. So, Ms. Stroud, we know that your job started with Main Street, but then it expanded to
Other duties.
Other areas.
That's right, that's right. So Main Street is really about the revitalization and the downtown area businesses, because we feel, and Main Street's philosophy is, if you have a vibrant downtown, then everything else around it evolves. So with community development and tourism, it is my duty to bring in activities to the downtown area. So we're talking about festivals, a vibrant farmers market, any activities that not only bring our own people downtown, but bring outsiders downtown as well. So it's just keeping our little community active with things to do. Call it community development a lot. That Main Street, which is a entity in itself, but then it also, Main Street is tourism. Tourism is Main Street. So it's kind of the umbrella of all of that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
This is Levi Johnson with the Hill Country Network coming at you with the news.
It had gone out to the readers, they had made recommendations, Dorothy had incorporated their suggestions, and she'd written a draft. So that's where Libby and I picked up. Libby had been working with Dorothy closely already, helping her with resources and so forth. I had been listening closely, mainly to Dorothy saying, oh, I've got to have more time to spend on Fanny Cook. So we knew that there were photographs that needed to be added. We knew about some material that needed to be added. We knew letters that needed to be added. So, and I knew that somebody had to do the documentation. I asked Craig Gill, who later became the president, the head of University Press. I said, so who's going to do the documentation? And he said, I don't know, Marion, I'm not. I thought, oh dear. So Dorothy was the right person to do this book. I mean, it was her vision, and we don't want to lose sight of that. And it was just exactly what her calling was, because she had already established a pretty good track record about writing books on underappreciated women. Her first book was a novel called Lizzie, which was published in 1995. And it was the fictionalized version of the life of Minnie Brewer, who was Governor Earl Brewer's daughter. Minnie Brewer was a wild thing. She was ahead of her time in lots and lots of ways. She scandalized her Governor Father many times, particularly because she ran a feminist newspaper in Clarksdale, Mississippi in the 1930s. So Dorothy, that's a wonderful novel, and you could probably get your hands on it if you do a little research. And also to those of you who live in Holly Springs, this is of interest. She fictionalizes the character but uses her real name of Kate Freeman Clark in that novel. You know how people do that now. They call it fiction, but it's very close to nonfiction, so kind of cross the boundaries there. So that book was wonderful, that novel. And the second book she came out with in 2006 was Lucy Somerville Howarth. Judge Lucy, you remember Kathy mentioned her. She was a member of the House of Representatives, and she was instrumental in helping pass that Bill 116, which established the Fish and Wildlife Agency. The third book that Dorothy published was called The Art of Carolyn Norris. And this woman is a fantastic artist who was not well known until Dorothy published her book. She's a self-taught artist, and she was Dorothy's housekeeper for many years, but they didn't let that stand in the way of their friendship. Now those are the books that really set the tone for her taking on the life of Fanny Cook, but I want to tell you about one more book for those of you who, I know this is sort of a hot spot for Elvis fans. She published a book, an e-book, which you can download for $8 called Going to Graceland. And it's about some contemporary pilgrims going from New Orleans to Memphis, and each telling their life story. So it's based on the Canterbury Tales. It's very clever. And of course, Dorothy is using that motif to collect her own short stories. She wrote a whole bunch of wonderful short stories. Now, one of the things that interests me, and certainly interested Dorothy, was the connection between Eudora Welty and Fanny Cook. I mean, here we have this great opportunity to have one of the foremost writers from Mississippi talk about Fanny Cook. You couldn't get any better than that, because Eudora Welty was one of the best observers ever. So Fanny Cook moved in Eudora Welty's and her mother's house in 1941. And here's one of the things that Dorothy found in her research that Welty had to say about Fanny Cook. She was elegant, stern, strict, matter of fact, rather impatient with human beings. And then Dorothy interviewed Patty Carr Black, who's also been mentioned before. Patty was a really good friend of Eudora Welty. She's a good friend of mine, too. And so Dorothy interviewed Patty and said, well, what do you remember Welty saying about Cook? And Patty said, well, she didn't quite know what to make of her, but she was fond of her boarder. She really found those jodhpurs exotic. She liked her jodhpurs a lot. And she was amused by her and intrigued by her, and also a little shocked by some of her goings-on, as you learned from the presentation. You know, the owl in the refrigerator and the box and the drapes were not just something that you could just take in stride. But she mentions twice, Eudora Welty mentioned in 2 different letters that we know of about Fanny Cook going out on the Gulf and letting the little birds land on her shoulders to give them a rest. So we know that affected her a lot. Another thing that's so interesting that Dorothy brings in is that she speculates about the influence that Cook might have had on Welty's fiction. Cook moved into Welty's house in 1941, and in that same year, 1941, Eudora Welty came out with 2 short stories that Dorothy maintains might show the influence of Fanny Cook, and I think she's right. The first one is The Wide Net, and in that story, there's a character called William Wallace. Well, one of Fanny Cook's relatives was named William Wallace. Not only that, but there's a very lush, the whole story is very lush with descriptions of nature. And so it makes us wonder, well, maybe Fanny Cook had that influence of that story. And the other one is called A Still Moment, which is my all-time favorite Welty short story. So if you want a recommendation for one story to begin with Welty, I would recommend it. And it is, one of the characters is John J. Audubon. And even though he's, fictionalized John J. Ottoman, there are a whole lot of parallels between him and Fanny Cook. So, I think it'd be really fun to keep on investigating and see how many other stories we could pick up on Fanny's influence. So Fanny Cook truly was Mississippi's pioneering conservationist. We owe her an enormous debt. And I think you'd enjoy the book. It's for sale at the Ottoman Tent. So y'all go by and get a copy. Thank you so much. Do y'all have any questions?
I do, but I gotta go home first and then get it. We'll do it.
Let's give Fanny Cook another.
Next level. There will be a fundraising event Monday, September the 10th, for a 13-year-old boy named Daniel Cross. It will be held at the Two Sisters Diner on West Bankhead Street in New Albany from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. They are raising money for the family so that Daniel can have a heart transplant. Daniel is the son of Jeff and Crystal Cross. Jeff has recently retired from the U.S. Navy and is looking for a suitable job. Crystal recently had to quit her job because of the care that Daniel requires now and will require as soon as he has the surgery. Daniel was born on December the 9th of 2004 with several major heart defects. He had his first surgery on his heart at the age of 4 months. He's had several surgeries since then. Come out to Two Sisters from 4 to 8 p.m. on Monday night, September the 10th, and buy a chicken or fish dinner. And if you feel so led, give a little extra. They need our help. Thank you from Hill Country Network.
I'm Greta Blakemore, and you're watching The Dog Feed.
What's up, guys? We're here with senior superstar quarterback Loden Bolin. And Loden, tell me about the game last week against Pontotoc.
It was a tough game. We got beat, and it was a hard fought game though. We had some heartbreak in it. We didn't have Caleb Bay there. His ankle was hurt. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but he's coming back this week, and so it should be a better week this week.
Yeah. But anyways, so Loden, how have you been preparing this week? To get ready for Amory. So it's it's going to be a big game for us. We're 1-2, trying to get up in the rankings of 4A.
Yeah, they're good too. They're not as good as Pontotoc, I don't think, but it'll be a tough game still. It's on the road, and it's supposed to rain too, so that'll be challenging. So yeah, we're prepared though, I feel like.
And Loden, what are some of your goals for this season, personally?
Well, one of my goals was to get Caleb Bay a touchdown. I already did that, and so now I'm I really just want to win. That's all I want to do. So really anything else is just, I don't really care about. I just want to win.
And for any of the people wondering, who is Loden Bolin outside of football?
He's somebody that just watches a lot of film, and that's pretty much it. He likes the outdoors. He likes fishing, hunting. Loves every day, and I like going walks on the beach and picking flowers, stuff like that. And then I just like going to get frozen yogurt, just stuff like that. Just outdoor things, and that's pretty much it.
Can you please tell the audience how you take walks on the beach when you're 7 hours away?
Well, there's Mississippi beaches. There's Sardis Lake, and it's kind of a beach. A beach is when the water hits the land, so it can be any beach.
So you take trips out to Sardis Lake?
Yes.
What's up, guys? We're here with junior extraordinaire volleyball player Janae Shackelford. And Janae, can you please tell me about the battle against Pontotoc last night?
It was a pretty easy battle because I think we're a better competition and we had more energy throughout the entire game.
So basically you're saying what contributed was, the effort and the intensity y'all had in y'all's game?
And the hustle, yeah.
Good. And can you please tell the folks, what are y'all going to do against Ripley this Thursday?
We're just going to keep the energy up, keep the positivity, and just work harder to be 2-0 in division.
And what are some of y'all's team's goals for this season?
Just to take one game at a time and hustle and play together as a team.
Okay. And what are some of your personal goals?
Just to get as many swings as I can and do my best to not miss serves.
And what position do you play?
Middle hitter.
Can you explain to everybody who doesn't know what that is?
Middle hitter, like we block everything or try to, and we just hit in the middle.
So you're the one with the bunnies that gets up and jumps?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Watch out, watch out, watch out. Y'all ever seen the reverse? I don't know this song. Oh, you know this song. He be like, is that how you do it? Dude, Chris is gonna turn up in here. I reverse.
Yeah. You know you can't use the phone.